Let's make a mountain cookie. This is one cookie of 4 in the plain window set. The first thing you want to do is to make your plain wing icing transfers. In order to do this, you're going to grab your icing transfer template, and then you're going to place parchment paper or acetate. Acetate's just a kind of clear plastic. I don't really know what acetate is. I'm kind of making that up. Over your template, you're going to start tracing. The first thing you're going to trace and then fill in, as you can see me doing here, is the wing tip. We're starting with the very end of the wing, and you're going to make this wing in 3 parts so you can preserve the different lines and shapes that are on this wing. Once you outline that wing tip, you're going to fill it in with your gray, you're going to use your scribe to even it out, and then you're going to set it aside. And by set it aside, I mean you're going to make however many more wing tips for plain wings you're going to make. You can see my parchment paper has a few different built wings on it. After you've made all the different wing tips you're going to make sure that your icing has crusted over a little bit. It's not as shiny, it's a little matte. And that's how you're going to know you're ready to move on to the next step, which is outlining that middle rectangle. There's 2 rectangles that form the majority of the wing. If you look at the wing directly above the one I'm piping, you can see there's 2 different rectangles. We're doing the biggest one. So we're outlining that, we're filling it in, then we're going to use our scribe, make sure it's evened out. One thing I want to note here is you definitely want to make sure you are fully touching that wing tip, because that line right there, I also do stained glass, and that's a line in stained glass that we would call a hinge point. It's going to be the point that's going to break most easily when it comes to taking these wings off of your parchment paper when they are fully dried. Once again, you're gonna go finish the rest of your wing rectangles. You're gonna make sure that things have started to crust over. They're a little matte, they're not as shiny, and then you're gonna move on to the final of the 3 steps, which is finishing off this wing. So you're going to start by outlining the top of the rectangle. I always like to do a line directly against another line just to keep it a little bit straighter. If I don't do it, if you look at the wing right above this, it's kind of like this wavy line delineating the 2. To avoid that, you can pipe a line just on that division and it'll even things out. It is a little tougher because this is such a small space to do some fine line work. So don't worry about if you need to pressure pipe a little bit more than you might typically feel comfortable with. And pressure piping just means that you're pushing more icing out of your piping bag to help fill in a space. After you finish that top rectangle, you don't need to set this aside and let it have any additional drying time. Like I said, this is step 3 for your icing transfer creation, but you are going to move on to these little parts on the bottom that I thought was a fuselage, and then I went to look up what a fuselage is, and it was not confirmed that this was a fuselage, so I don't know what these pieces are. If you know that, please drop it in the comments. I would like to learn without doing additional research. Anywho, outline it. My outline was messy, and then I filled it in, and then I just used my scribe to move the icing where I wanted it to be. My gray is fairly thick, so I'm not too concerned that it's going to spread too much, and especially when I'm decorating on parchment paper, I don't find it spreads too much out of control. But you're going to finish off by outlining the final, not fuselage section of your plain wing. Fill it in with your icing and then use your scribe to make sure that it is properly touching that big rectangle, because these pieces can break off. I did not have that happen when mine fully dried, but we're just making sure that that does not happen to you. Then you're going to set these aside for probably 4+ hours. Make sure they are fully dry, and then you can spend some time peeling them off. I don't have a fancy pants spatula to help me peel them off. I just use clean hands and a little effort, and you can see that's that hinge point I'm talking about. They're going to break off. It's fine. You're going to make extras. Once you've peeled off all of your planes, you're ready to move on. Grab your edible pen because we are going to draw on the design before we grab our piping bags. I am putting 4 dots in every extended section of my cookie. It's hard to talk about where you're putting 4 dots on an oval because I want to say on our 4 sides. and there's one side to an oval. Anywho, we're just creating where the plain window border is going to be versus where our design is going to be. After that, I am just following the design that I have on a piece of paper that is next to me off camera. And it doesn't have to be precise. You can change it. We're freehanding it. You can always pipe something slightly different than what the design has. But you will find a top-down picture of the design in the free guide, which you can download in the link below. And then we're going to work on outlining. So now that we have our design outlined on the cookie with an edible pen, we need to outline it with our royal icing. So I'm starting at the top and I'm grabbing the beige because that's what color the sky is going to be. And I'm outlining along the edge of my design, not the edge of the cookie. So on that dotted line. And then I'm going to go over kind of the mountainscape. You might want your mountains to look a little bit more like mountains than cartoon mountains. And that would be a fine choice. There's nothing wrong with that. I've made cookies that look like that as well. The other thing you're going to want to do is outline the sky in beige, and then you can grab your next color, which is light blue, and we're going to outline along the edge, and we're also going to outline along all of those curved mountains. It might be a little difficult, but I always, when I want to have clear, defined lines, I want to have those extra outlines. Sometimes I decide it's not necessary. Sometimes I decide it is. Most of the time I decide it is, because if I'm pressure piping, if I'm adding icing against a line, particularly when I'm using hybrid icing, I can lose that definition and it becomes kind of like a shaky, wavy line, and I don't like it. And you might see me piping this thinking, that looks like a shaky waving line, shaky waving line, and you would kind of be right, but it's a little bit more precise and it's a little bit more defined when I pipe the line versus when I pressure pipe. After we get the light blue, we're going to come in with the dark blue and create, again, outlining the dark blue section. So we start with the side dotted line, and then I'm coming in with the design at the bottom and ending on the side dotted line. And then here's an example of me breaking my own rules that I have. I'm actually not putting an outline between the dark blue and the light blue. And I can't explain to you why. I think I just decided I didn't need it. And then when I'm coming in with the green, I'm kind of doing the same thing. Yes, I'm creating a line-ish, but I'm pressure piping it. And I think it really just came down to my mountains I felt like could blend together more than I wanted my mountains to blend with the sky. I wanted a defined line against the sky and the mountains versus everything below the mountains. I think it also could do with my consistency. Sometimes if my consistency is a little thinner, I don't really worry about having the really defined edges because my consistency is not going to push that edge around. And sometimes I decide I really do need it because my consistency is going to push the edge around. So I don't know. I'm an enigma. I'm a bad teacher when it comes to this part. Do as I say, not as I do, or do exactly as I do and just see how it turns out. So after you filled in the green bottom section, you're going to grab your dark blue. So we worked top down to create the outline. Now we're working bottom up to fill in the cookie. So I'm just coming in and filling in the dark blue section. And I haven't needed to grab my scribe because my icing is just working with me. Besides the white icing in this set, all of my icing consistencies I have felt pretty dang good about. So after the dark blue, I grab my light blue and fill in the mountain section. Another thing you could change about this cookie is the colors that you're using in each section. You could put the blue in the sky instead and put the beige somewhere for the mountains. This is the one cookie where if I decided to make more than 6 colors for this cookie set, I would have wanted to do it for this one, but I just didn't want to expand my colors for nothing. Again, not grabbing a scribe, everything's evening out. So after I filled in the light blue, I'm going to grab the beige, and I like going along kind of the difficult edge first, and all of my icing can blend together. So we're not letting things have dry time so that there's really defined dimensional lines between each section, we can have it look more wet on wet because, again, these are windowscapes. When you look out a plain window, things don't have as much dimension as maybe if you're seeing them in person from a different angle. I do want to make sure that I'm not filling in the circle where the sun is going to be, so I want to outline that and then keep piping to fill in the sky with the beige. You can actually tell that my beige icing is a little thicker than everything else just because it's not evening out as nicely. After I get the beige filled in, I'm going to come in with the white and I'm just going to pressure pipe in that circle for the sky, and instead of grabbing my scribe, I'm just going to lightly tap my cookie to kind of even everything out. And then I've grabbed my icing transfer plane and I'm going to line it up with the edge of the cookie first, and I'm placing this on completely wet icing. So after I drop it in place, there is no moving it, but it also means that it's going to be really securely placed onto the cookie, which is great for icing transfers. I then am going to set aside that cookie and just let it crust over a little bit instead of going straight into the border. And what I would recommend is make a few of these cookies. By the time you finish the last one and you're ready to go, you'll be able to move on to the border for the first one that you worked on. So I'm going around the outside edge of the cookie. You can go around it a few times or you can just go around it once. It depends on how thick of a line you've created. It kind of depends on the icing that you're working with. If it's a little too thin, you might want to go over it a few times. And then you're going to outline your window scenescape, and I recommend going over the plain edge so it looks really incorporated into the scene and not that it's separate and just a wing of a plane, that there is more plane that you just can't see because you're looking out a window. Once you have those two lines and you have that defined space in between that needs to be filled in, you can pressure pipe with your gray icing, putting a lot of pressure from the palm of your hand into that piping bag so you're getting more icing out of your piping bag than if you were just piping a line. Once you fill in that section, I need to grab my scribe because my gray icing's just a little thicker. It's not filling in. If I shook this cookie, it still wouldn't fill in all the little gaps that I have along the edges of the border. So I'm grabbing my scribe and I'm moving my icing around to fill in all of those sections. And it's starting to settle pretty nicely, but I just want to make sure there's no gaps between the window frame and my scenescape and the edge of the cookie. So I'm moving the icing around. I like doing little swirls with my scribe in order to move it just a little bit and then kind of get it back into place. But however you can get your scribe to work for you, totally works to complete your mountain cookie. Look out your window and what do you see? A beach, fields, mountain, and clouds. Give these beginner airplane cookies a try.